This was the conversation, right? The conversation was on relics again. Dude, holy fuck. Like I said, I think the last thing people really care about is relics. And so I actually want to talk about, like I said, look, there's an idea that I was given to Archmage. Let me spell it out now, okay? So, we already have step 1, fixing up Ferryman and kind of nerfing him down. We have Primadon, and we have the Etchus Raid event, right? We have Jeremiah / the Deep Gem, sort of. And I think the final thing were artifacts, right? So these 4 things I asked him to kind of buff up, right? And hopefully, like, farming all of these together would become eventually at least equal to the rate at which you maybe would get something from Ferryman. I think the only issue is that the only thing is that I don't think we're ever going to get the rate at which we got relics from a boss like this again. Just because he was so easy and efficient to do. There are multiple ways you could like one-tap him and cheese him. As long as there's more ways to kind of get the common relics like Armor Needle, Item Shoe, and Smith's Alloy. As long as there's more ways to do it, because at the moment, I do feel that a lot of people feel like they're kind of squeezed into Diluvian almost, right? A lot of people feel squeezed into Diluvian, and even though it's not hard to make a Diluvian build, like I said, I know there's like the argument that, dude, solo players, it's always like, it always brings up solo players, right? Like, dude, solo players had an efficient farm, and now you took it away from them. But like I said, I don't think relics were ever intended, at least I didn't intend for them to be that easy to get from a specific boss. I think having, especially from one source altogether, I think having a little bit more interesting, what's it called? I think it's more interesting to be forced actually to potentially run, or be forced to actually kind of do overworld shits. Is a lot more interesting. And I think we'll feel like the game low-key actually gets revived. Because I feel like a lot of people feel like the game is super dry. There's somebody who got shot up there.
Yellow tape around his body. So fucking
I feel like a lot of people feel like the game is super dry, right? But like I said, we've seen a shift just recently. Everyone's in Chime. Everyone's in instance servers farming layer 2. Well, no one's farming layer 2. But before it was Ferryman, Diluvian, and maybe layer 2 sometimes. And I just don't think that was obviously you would go in. The only like people you would see who had completed builds in the overworld were A, right? People who were just farming, what's it called? Like going somewhere to farm, so they're traveling somewhere to farm. Or B, right? People sparring and occasionally ganking, right? Occasionally there'd be like someone looking for a fight. C would be like sometimes if there's like a new weapon and everyone in the community joins together to try and figure it out. That's the third exception, right? But if you notice, none of the other endgame stuff that people can do, which the current endgame is farming relics for either your current build or future builds, right? The current way you do that before was just going to Ferryman or going to Diluvian, right? So at the moment there was 2 ways to do it, and Ferryman kind of got eliminated. It was supposed to be Primadon here, but I'll say that even just Primadon alone isn't enough. So I think Ferryman kind of removed from the equation. Diluvian still extremely risky. And these are actually, if you notice, like I said, Primadon, what I said, Etchus Raid event, Jeremiah / the Deep Gem Gotcha guy, and artifacts are all overworld ways to, I guess, like, what is it called, obtain relics of some kind. All these 3 right here are just RNG, basically, right? Well, Jeremiah is always there, and you can always get deep gems, right? So this guy can at least consistently, I don't know about consistently, but like at least there's a way to consistently get and turn in sort of deep gems to try and kind of gotcha your way to get relics, right? If you have spare deep gems for whatever reason, right? Also, you can kill players for their deep gems and go to Jeremiah, all right, if you really need to. And then these 2 right here, Etchus Raid event. I mean, it's a world event, chat. Etchus Raid event is a world event. That shit should be dropping relics. I don't think I need to explain. Artifacts, like I said here, artifacts, for the longest while, I just feel like they've been always so terrible to turn in. And so I feel like once players know that, oh, those can obtain relics, right? Especially like the common ones, like, dude, what if one artifact guaranteed a Armor's Needle? Like, I'm so serious. Like, what if one of those just guaranteed a common relic? Bro, people would, you would see a freshie, that freshie might get murked. that freshie might deadass be merch. For like those would always be picked up. Am I wrong, chat? Like if those actually if you turn them in, right? Or maybe it's like, okay, the ones that are riskier are like a 50% chance at common. The ones at mini are like 70, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Aerodol is like 80. And in the depths, which they could introduce, is like 100% chance. Dude, you would really see people like deadass like fighting other people for them. Or at least like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like you will see like a guild like looking, it would be cool because it would be an alternative way to farm. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're turning in, you can like artifact hunt, which I think is actually pretty cool that there's like a third alternative way to try and get relics, which would be hunting slash some sort of PvP. Because before there was no PvP option, right? And the PvE options I think were actually pretty limited and pretty boring. Yeah, I know like Maestro and Duke dropped relics, right? And they still do, right? But I don't think they were the most interesting still, and I think they weren't super efficient. So I think if these had good rates, especially Etris Raid and Artifacts, especially these two should have pretty high rates. Premium should just have Ferryman rates. These two should have like pretty high rates because they are like, you don't see them, you're not like farming them, you know what I mean? Like you can server hop for Etris Raid event, right? But like compared to like, you guys understand what I'm saying, right? Like it's not like a ferryman where you're going in an instant server. People can interrupt your Etris Raid. Etris Raid takes time to complete. There's only 3 chests that spawn in. Someone could steal your chest. A lot of potential friction with Etris Raid event. Artifacts. This is almost similar to like kind of like the Weird Trader, except they're more common. If they give artifacts a use, people will pick them up. You won't see them anymore. You guys, like the only reason why people will see a lot of them is because people don't actually pick them up. If they were to actually give artifacts a good chance at dropping relics, they would be used. It would actually be a reason to PvP over them and fight people over them, which I think would be kind of cool. Jeremiah Deep Gem just gives a cool thing in the depths to kind of go for and be careful about too. I guarantee you, if this guy was to have a chance to drop relics too by turning in Deep Gems, there might be vultures at Jeremiah that you'd have to be very careful about, which would be, I guess, interesting to see. I really don't know. I mean this to everybody right now. Everybody listening. I don't know, bro. Oh, wait, the Ivory Beer guy's down. Come on, man. Relax. Let's go, baby! 615 isn't bad. 615 is above average. The 10 is like the best. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to go click on these other videos, man. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.